Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming. We continuing with the question mind, be aware, mind creates problems. Mind says, how can you be enlightened just becoming aware of the breath movement? Mind creates problems for anything. Such a simple thing, mind says, don't be fooled. How can you become a Buddha through such a small thing? It is not going to be. And then you are going to do anything because how can it happen? Mind is very tricky. If I say this is very difficult, the mind says it is so difficult, it is beyond you. You cannot practice this. If I say this is very simple, the mind says it is so simple that only fools can believe in it. And mind goes on rationalizing things, always escaping from doing what is to be done. This is how the mind is. Mind creates barriers. It will become a barrier if you think it is so simple or it is too difficult. Then what are you going to do? You cannot do a simple thing and at the same time you cannot do a difficult thing. What are you going to do then? Tell me. If you want to do a difficult thing, I will make it difficult. If you are going to do a simple thing, I'll again make it a simple. It is both. It depends on how it is interpreted. But one thing is needed, that you are going to do it. If you are not going to do it, then the mind will always give you explanations. Theoretically, it is possible here and there, here and now, but there are no actual barriers. But there are barriers. They are not to be actual. They are psychological. They may be illusions, but they are there. If I say to you, do not be afraid, go. The thing that you are thinking is a snake is not really a snake, instead it is a rope. Still the fear will be there. To you, although I have said it is a rope, but to you it will appear to be a snake. So whatsoever I say is not going to help. You are trembling, you want to escape and run away. I say it is just a rope, but your mind will say this man may have a conspiracy with this snake. There must be something wrong. The man is forcing me towards the snake. He may be interested in my death or something. If I try to convince you too much that this is a rope, that will only show that I am somehow interested in forcing you to go to that place. If I say to you that theoretically it is possible to see the rope as a rope, to see the rope as a rope this very moment, but your mind will create many problems. In really, there is no dilemma. In really, there is no problem. There has never been and there will never be any problem. In the mind, the problems are in the mind. And you look at reality through the mind, because mind is the window through which you look at everything. The reality becomes problematic. Your mind works like a prison. It divides and creates problems. And not only that, it creates solutions which become even deeper problems, because in fact there are no problems to be solved. Really, reality is absolutely unproblematic. There is no problem. But you cannot see anything without problems. Wherever you look, whatever you look at, you create problems. Man's mind's very look is problematic. I told you this breath technique. Now the mind says it is so simple. Why does the mind say this is so simple? When for the first time I had told you a steam engine were invented, nobody could believe it looks so simple, unbelievable. Just the same steam that you see in the kitchen, in your kettle, the steam running the engine, running hundreds of passengers and such a load, the same steam that you are so well acquainted with, it is not believable. Do you know what happened when first time a steam engine started in England? No one was ready to sit in the train. Many were persuaded, bribed, and they were given money to sit in the train. But at the last moment, they escaped. They said, firstly, steam cannot do such miracles. Such a simple thing as a steam cannot do a miracle. It cannot pull the engine. And if the engine starts, that means the devil is at work somewhere. Devil is running the thing, and this is not the steam. And then what is the guarantee that once the engine starts that it will stop? No guarantee could be given, because this was the first train. Never had it stopped before. It was only a probability. There was no experience. No science could not say, yes, it will stop. Theoretically, it will stop. But people were not interested in theories. They were interested if there was any actual experience of stopping a train. If it never stops, then what will happen to us who will be sitting in it? So only 12 criminals were brought from the jail as passengers. Anyhow, they were going to die. Anyhow, they were sentenced to death. So there was no problem if the train was not going to stop. Then the mad driver, who thought that this was going to stop, the scientists who had invented it, and these 12 passengers who was anyhow going to be killed, they alone would be killed. Such a simple thing as steam, they said about it at that time. But no one can see this because now it is working for hundreds of years and you know it. So somewhere or the other, something has to begin. Everything is simple. Reality is simple and easy. It seems complex only when uh, there is ignorance. Otherwise, everything is simple. Once you know it, it becomes simple. The knowing is bound to be difficult, not because of reality, but because of the mind. Or something, a new device is given to you, someone gives you a new iPhone, you are very happy that this person bought me a new iPhone. Now, to you it seems complex. How to do this, how to do that, and so. But once you have learned it, it becomes simple at the tip of your tongue. You can guide someone. The knowing is bound to be difficult, not because of reality, but because of the mind. This technique is simple, but it is not going to be simple for you. Your mind will create difficulty, so try with it. Then the mind, someone says, if I try this method of being aware of my breathing, if I pay attention to my breathing, then I cannot do anything else. Logically, the mind thinks. The whole attention goes to it, and if I am to do anything else, then I cannot be aware of my breathing. This will happen. So in the beginning, choose a particular period in the morning or in the evening or any other time for 1 hour. Just do this exercise and do nothing else. Once you become attuned to it, then there will be no problem. You can walk on the street and you can be aware. Between awareness and attention, these are the two words, awareness and attention. There is a vast difference between the two. When you pay attention to anything, it is exclusive. Attention is exclusive. You have to withdraw your attention from everything else. So it is attention really, not attention. That is why it is called attention. Attention. You pay attention to one thing at the cost of everything else. If you pay attention to your breathing, you cannot pay attention to your walking or to your driving. Do not try it while you are driving because you cannot pay attention to both. Attention means one thing exclusively. Awareness means is a different thing. It is not exclusive. It is not paying attention. You pay attention and being attentive are two things. Being attentive means being conscious. You are conscious that you are inclusively conscious. Your breathing is in your consciousness. Your walking, You are walking and someone is passing by, that too is part of your consciousness. Someone is making noise on the road, the train is passing, aeroplane is flying by, everything is included. Awareness is all inclusive. Attention is all exclusive. But in the beginning, you have to begin with attention. So first try to select a certain period for 1 hour and be attentive of your breathing. By and by you will be able to change your attention from attention change your attention into awareness. Then do simple things. For example, walking. Walk attentively with full awareness of walking and breathing simultaneously. Do not create any conflict, opposition between the two actions of walking and breathing. Be a watcher of both. It is not difficult, I can tell you that. Look, for instance, I can pay attention to one face here. I pay If I pay attention to one face, then all the other faces will not be here for me. If I pay attention to one face, then all others are bracketed. If I pay attention only to the nose on the face, then the whole face, the remainder of the face is bracketed out. I can go on narrowing my attention to a simple, single point or single object. When this is possible, narrowing down your attention, the same way the reverse is also possible. I can pay attention to the whole face, then eyes and nose and everything are there. Then I have made my focus wider. I look at you not as an individual but as group. Then the whole group is in my attention. If I take you as different from the noise that is going on the street, then I am bracketing you out, bracketing out the street. But I can look at you and the street as a whole. Then I can be aware of both you and the street. I can be aware of the entire cosmos. It depends on your focus on it becoming greater and greater, larger and larger. But first start from attention and remember that you have to grow into awareness. So if you have to grow into awareness, you have to start the journey with attention. Choose a small period. In the morning, good, because it is fresh, energies are vital, everything is rising. You are more alive in the morning than in the evening. Psychologists say that not only you are more alive, but your height is a little more in the morning than in the evening. If you are 6 feet tall, in the morning you are 6 feet and half inch, and in the evening you go back to 6 feet. Half inch is lost because of the spine settles down when it is tired. So in the morning you are fresh, young, alive, full of energy, so you look taller. Do this. Do not make meditation the last thing on your schedule, make it first. Then, when you feel that now it is not an effort, you can sit for an hour together, completely immersed in breathing, aware, attentive. When you only know this, that you have achieved attention of breathing without any effort, then you are relaxed and enjoy it without forcing. Then you have attained it. Now you can add a few other things like walking. Remember both, then go on adding things. Remember breathing, you are watching, and walking. Then go on adding things. After a certain period of time, you will be capable of being aware of your breath continuously, even in sleep. And unless you are aware of your breathing in sleep, you will not know its depth. But this comes by and by, this comes. One has to be patient, one has to start rightly. Know this, because the mind is cunning and will always give you a wrong start. Then you can leave it after 2 or 3 days and say that it is hopeless. The mind will give you always a wrong start. So always remember to begin rightly, because rightly begin means half done. You know well that attention is a difficult thing. Why it is difficult? Because you are asleep, totally asleep. So if you start being attentive to breathing while you are doing something else, you cannot do it. And you are not going to leave the task. You will leave the effort of being attentive to breathing. You will continue to do that task that you were doing, but you will leave being attentive to the breathing. It is important, therefore, not to create any problems for yourself. In 24 hours, you can find a small corner, 30, 45 minutes will do. So do the technique there. But the mind will give you many excuses. The mind will say, where is the time? There is already too much work to be done. Where is the time? Or the mind will say, it is not possible now, so postpone it for another time. Sometimes in future, when things are better, then you will do it. Beware of what the mind says to you. Do not, mind is not something that you go on trusting too much. And we are never doubtful of the mind. We can doubt everyone else, but we cannot doubt our own mind. Such is the nature of the mind. Even those who talk much of skepticism, of doubt, of reason, even they never doubt their own minds. And your mind has brought you to the state you are in. If you are in hell, it is your mind that has brought you into this hell. You never doubt this guide. You can doubt any teacher, any master, but you will never doubt your mind. You have tremendous faith. You move with your mind as your guru or master, and your mind has brought you into this mess of which you are not aware. Mind has brought you in this state of misery. If you are going to doubt anything, you have to first of all doubt your mind. And whenever mind says something, think twice. It is true that you do not have any time, really. You do not have any time to meditate. To give 1 hour to meditation, think twice and ask again and again to the mind, is this really the case that I do not have time? I don't see. I have not seen a man who does not have more than enough time. I go on seeing people playing cards and they say they are killing time. They are going to movies and say what to do. We are killing time, gossiping, reading the same newspaper again and again, talking about the same thing they have been talking about whole life, and they say we do not have time. For unnecessary things they have enough time. Why? Everyone has enough time for unnecessary things. With an unnecessary thing, mind is safe. There is no danger for it. The moment you think of meditation, mind becomes alert. Now you are moving in a dangerous dimension, because meditation means the death of the mind. If you move into meditation, sooner or later mind will have to dissolve, retire completely. Mind becomes alert and it begins to say many things to you. Where is the time? And even if there is time, then there are more important things to be done. First, postpone it until later. You can meditate rest of your life. Money is important. Gather money first, then meditate at your leisure. You can meditate without money, so pay attention to money, then meditate later on. Meditation can be postponed easily, you feel, because it is not concerned with immediate needs, immediate survival. Bread cannot be postponed, you may die. Money cannot be postponed, it is needed for your basic necessities. Meditation can be postponed, you can survive without it. Really, you can. The moment you go deep into meditation, you will not survive on this earth, at least you will disappear from the circle of life, this wheel, and you will disappear. Meditation is like death, so mind becomes afraid. Meditation is like love, so mind becomes afraid. Postpone it. You can go on postponing meditation ad infinitum. Your mind is always saying things like this, and you do not think I am talking about others. I am talking about particularly about you. There are intelligent people who go on saying very unintelligent things about meditation. You have to be aware of this. We do not value our own, we do we do not value our own experience. The past, the conditioning, the mind is constantly molding you and destroying your present. So remember and be aware. Be skeptical and doubtful about the mind. Do not trust it. If you can attain to this maturity of not trusting your mind, only then these techniques will appear to you to be simple, helpful, functioning, and they will work miraculously. They can work miracles. These techniques, these methods cannot be understood intellectually at all. I am trying the impossible, but then why am I trying? If they cannot be understood intellectually, then why am I talking to you? They cannot be understood intellectually, but there is no other way to make you aware of certain technique which can change you totally. I have to speak to you intellectually about it. You can understand only intellect, and this is the problem. You cannot understand anything else. You can understand only intellect, and these techniques cannot be understood. Intellect cannot be intellectually, so how else to communicate? Either you should become capable of understanding without intellect being brought in, or some method should be found so that these techniques can be made intellectually understandable. The second is not possible, only the first is possible. That's why I'm giving you first, you have to start intellectually. When I am explaining to you intellectually, do not cling to it. When I say do, do not hold a word, try doing. If something begins to happen within you, then you will be capable of throwing your intellect aside and reaching towards me directly without the intellect, without effort, without the meditator, but start doing something first. We can go on talking for years and years. Your mind can be stuffed with many things, but that is not going to help. Rather, it may harm you because you will begin to know many things theoretically, but you have not practiced. You will be confused. It is not good to know many things. It is good to know a little and practice. A single technique can be helpful. Something done is always helpful. There is no difficulty in it. That's why when I give any technique, I give one and see that it is done. Deep down, somewhere there is fear. Fear is that if you do it, it may be that something stops happening. That is the fear. It looks paradoxical, but I have been talking and meeting so many persons who want to change. They say they need meditation. They ask for a deep transformation, but deep transformation, they are also afraid. They are in two minds. They go on asking about what to do, but they never do it. Why? Then they go on asking just to deceive themselves that they are really interested in transforming themselves. That is why they are asking. This gives you a false appearance. You have to be sincerely interested in changing yourself. I will continue in tomorrow's session. We have to bring into why this creates a problem. It is because of freedom, fear of freedom. Everybody is afraid of the fear of freedom, and because of that, it creates a problem. So, I'll take this in tomorrow's session. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.